Hello everyone and welcome to Friday, May 7th, 2021. This podcast is being brought to you today by Chugwater Chili. You may have heard of the Chugwater Chili blend that you know so well about, but did you know that Chugwater Chili also makes a hot version of their famous chili seasoning? For those of you looking for a little extra spice in their life, give Chugwater Chili a try. And there's a special offer to podcast listeners. Take advantage of 20% off Chugwater Chili products at chugwaterchili.com by using the discount code ChugwaterDon at checkout. Well, folks, another nice day. Then, well, not so nice. It is going to be a very warm day across the Intermountain West and the Western High Plains. Really take advantage of today. Unfortunately, today is not a Saturday or a Sunday, but I think all of you are going to really like the weather. We're going to give you a drought update as the new Drought Monitor came out yesterday. We're going to start to cool off on Saturday. Big cool down coming Sunday into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. For those of you who are really into the warm weather right now and would really like it to stay warm, you're going to be disappointed, I'm afraid. But it does warm up again late next week. So it is a bit of a roller coaster, but it is spring. But we're getting there, folks. We've got a week of May under our belt, and every week you go forward, it starts to get a little better, although next week, not all that great again. Some precipitation is coming, and as has been the theme this spring, winners and losers again. Now let's take a look at the latest Drought Monitor. Pretty interesting when you focus in on our neck of the woods, but a couple of things to highlight. We continue to have dryness in parts of the Northwest Corn Belt and the Great Lakes. This is kind of a new area, especially here in the Great Lakes. North Dakota and parts of South Dakota really hurting badly, and their drought conditions get worse. And of course, look at areas west of the Divide. We've been talking about this. West of the Continental Divide, I'm afraid to say, really does not have any really decent hope of any good spring moisture here in the coming week or two ahead. I think, honestly, this part of the country right here, and I would include the western slope of Colorado in this, and Utah, is that we're just going to have to get into the summer monsoon pattern before we can get some decent rains to come in. Now, we could see something come in late May and early June. We've seen that before, but in the next week or two, I'm just not encouraged at all for areas west of the Divide. Now, east of the Divide, I want to focus in a little bit and zoom in. Here's Wyoming, Colorado, the Dakotas, into the region. Look at this. You know, we've been talking about this part of northeastern Colorado, the South Platte Valley, getting into some rain and snow going back to that March storm. The same for the foothills and the north central mountains of Colorado. You know, this area right here is no longer showing as being in a drought situation, and that's quite amazing. Those are the areas that were hit by the big wildfires this fall. Well, they have really benefited from the pattern here lately, this northeast corner of Colorado, the front range mountains and foothills of Colorado. Now, southeastern Wyoming has seen improvement, even though it's showing yellow here. This area has really showed big improvements. The southeast counties of Wyoming are doing the best of anybody. Now, we've also seen improvement in the northern Bighorn Basin and up around the Sheridan area near the Montana border, but the rest of northeast, north central Wyoming, southwestern and western Wyoming are still in drought conditions. So improvements here and improvements here. And you know what's going to happen? With the next system that's coming, these circled areas are going to be getting most of the precipitation again. So this is a theme that is going to continue here for a little bit longer. Then, of course, you can see into parts of south central Wyoming and Colorado's western slope. This La Nina has really hit those areas very hard. We've got to just get the La Nina to end to turn that corner. As we go through today, this is the upper level pattern with a nice big ridge of high pressure over the Intermountain West. A big happy face for everybody. It's just going to be a beautiful day. Some of you should be teeing off shortly after you watch this podcast. These are our temperatures for today, 70s and 80s. Look at the 70s and 80s all across northern Wyoming and southern Montana, eastern Colorado, both sides of the Divide, other than the mountain areas. And even the mountain areas for this time of year are going to be very warm. But we start to cool off. These are today's temperatures. These are Saturday's temperatures. You can see a lot of blue starts to come in from the north. Extreme southeastern Wyoming and eastern Colorado and into the panhandles enjoy one more warm day, but that area really shrinks by Mother's Day Sunday. I'm really falling down on my job, moms. I'm sorry. Just not going to be the outdoor type of barbecue Mother's Day event, more like indoor brunch. as we're looking at temperatures really cooling off. Those are the high temperatures for Sunday, and we're going to see some shower and thunderstorm activity develop because this trough of low pressure right here, it doesn't look impressive, but it's not moving very fast, and it's going to bring a cold, moist atmosphere into the area, making it unstable and cool, and it's going to stick around from Sunday through Wednesday. This area of low pressure just isn't going to move very much, and the end result is going to be some really cold temperatures. Now look at this. These are the forecasted high temperatures for Monday. Look at this. In southeastern Wyoming, parts of northern Colorado, temperatures for high temperatures only in the 30s and 40s, and even the cooler air gets into areas on the western side of the divide and even back into the Wasatch Front of Utah. So everybody's going to really cool off. These are highs on Monday, and that's going to bring out a lot of folks and make them unhappy for sure. Precipitation, though, that drought monitor I showed you where this area has improved, look, that is the area that has the best chance of some precipitation up in the south central and southwest areas of Montana as well. And again, this map looks just like all the other maps I've shown you over the last few weeks. West of the divide, yes, moisture, not very much. The Colorado Front Range and the southeast corner of Wyoming continue to get wet, and that'll be the situation here. I hate to say this, but in this area here in northeast Colorado and southeastern Wyoming, some of that, especially Monday into Monday evening and even late Sunday night, could be in the form of snow. Look at this, even some wet snow into the panhandle of Nebraska, the I-80 corridor and the I-25 corridor of Wyoming. The Bighorns get snow again, so does the Yellowstone Plateau. So this is another big cool down. Of course, it's really hard to complain about the precipitation, but it is coming with some really cool temperatures. These are temperatures for Tuesday relative to average, and you can see the purple here, the cold core of the core across the area into the cloudy, cool, moist upslope conditions. And of course, this is bringing out the angry villagers again. I'm already hearing from folks who are tired of these cold snaps. They want the warm weather. Hopefully, I'm not going to be able to throw another angry villager shot on the screen here soon, but got to throw it back up again because it really is going to get a lot colder early next week. However, high pressure builds in, and by Friday, folks, here we go. By next Thursday and Friday, pattern sort of repeats itself, doesn't it? Does this sound familiar? Because this is exactly what is going on this week. The week starts off cold, unsettled, and wet. The week ends with warmer weather. However, I think this area of high pressure will have bigger staying power. So starting Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday, Sunday of next week, a more persistent, warmer pattern is coming. Of course, we'll have to deal with him later on in the longer term. Temperatures by Thursday, this is by Thursday, back into the 60s and 70s, and look at these temperatures by next weekend. By next weekend, 70s and 80s. So folks, you're going to have to get through the first half of next week, but you will be rewarded with another trend towards much warmer temperatures again. We call this weather whiplash. Don't forget to go to chugwaterchili.com and get your 20% off. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Monday.